The psychological reconstruction of Iran, from authoritarianism to democratic culture. Article 4. Cultural diversity. How difference makes society stronger. If we look at a Persian carpet, its beauty lies not in uniformity, but in the harmony of many colors, patterns, and motifs that together create a whole. Iran is much the same. Iran has endured not by removing differences, but by connecting diverse cultures within a shared national identity. Just as removing one color from a carpet diminishes its beauty, ignoring any culture weakens part of Iran's historical heritage. Culture is not limited to language or clothing. Ways of life, music, literature, architecture, local traditions, food, art, relationships with nature, and ways of solving problems are all part of it. Every region has preserved part of this heritage, enriching Iran's cultural identity. Diversity is not an obstacle to unity, but one reason Iranian civilization has endured for centuries. Authoritarian governments, however, often view cultural diversity with suspicion. The more uniform a society is, the easier it is to control. Cultural differences may therefore be ignored, suppressed, or portrayed as threats to national unity. Some political movements turn those same differences into instruments of division. Both approaches weaken society by relying on fear and mistrust rather than confidence and cooperation. From a psychological and psychiatric perspective, people feel safest when they can be themselves without fear of humiliation. Respect for a person's language, culture, customs, and way of life meets the basic need to be seen and accepted. It promotes belonging, self-esteem, and social trust, while reducing shame, alienation, and exclusion. Equal representation in the media is also a form of social recognition. It tells citizens that their presence is legitimate and valued. Cognitive research shows that exposure to different cultures and viewpoints often builds greater flexibility. People become better able to see the world from another person's perspective, tolerate uncertainty, and find creative solutions to complex problems. Across society, these abilities strengthen innovation and resilience. Cultural diversity is therefore not a burden, but an investment in the future. Tolerance is not merely a moral virtue, it is a psychological skill that must be learned and practiced. A society that develops it can manage disagreement without turning opponents into enemies. It sees difference as a chance to learn and builds social capital, the trust, cooperation, mutual responsibility, and civic participation on which development, stability, and prosperity depend. Article 2 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights affirms equal rights and freedoms without distinction based on race, language, religion, or national or social origin. A future Iranian constitution must likewise protect languages, cultures, and local traditions as part of the nation's shared wealth and explicitly prohibit cultural discrimination. Yet laws alone are not enough. Schools should present the history, literature, music, art, and traditions of every region as part of Iran's common heritage. Public media, especially television and radio, should reflect the full spectrum of Iran's cultural diversity, rather than mainly representing the culture of the center or the majority. Including presenters, writers, artists, and experts from different regions, alongside programs on local languages, customs, and music, can reduce psychological distance and strengthen shared belonging. Cinema, theater, literature, music, and the visual arts also have a decisive role. Films and artworks can portray the lived experiences of people from different parts of Iran respectfully and without stereotypes. Festivals, museums, libraries, and cultural institutions should provide equal space for all cultures. When citizens see themselves in art and media, they feel that they truly belong. Cultural funding must also be distributed fairly, transparently, and evenly. Protecting languages, local arts, traditions, and intangible heritage should not depend on the preferences of governments or the influence of powerful groups. Every culture should receive equal support for education, research, artistic production, preservation, and passing its heritage to future generations. Cultural justice becomes real only when public resources represent every color of society. Ultimately, a society that sees difference as a threat gradually loses its capacity to learn and create. One that treats difference as an opportunity for growth becomes more adaptable, innovative, and cohesive in times of crisis. Just as no single color can create the beauty of a Persian carpet, no single local culture can represent Iran as a whole. Iran's splendor lies in the coexistence of all its colors. A democratic future will flourish when this diversity is regarded not merely as something to tolerate, but as a source of pride, solidarity, and national progress. Mahmoud Ashkanian, neuropsychiatrist, PhD.